All right, guys, what's up? Welcome back to Average Stakes. Today's episode is a great one. Your San Diego Padres have clinched the playoffs for the first time in a full season since 2006. I know that was a lot of words, but we're going to get to a lot more in a second. I can't play the music. All of a sudden, we lost it. Some odd reason, whatever. But, Trevor, how the hell are you doing?
Playoffs? Are the Padres in the playoffs? Is that what you just said?
We took a little bit of time off. Trevor announced via Twitter that he was taking time off from watching it. So we kind of started talking a little bit about football more, focused our attention towards football, kind of letting the Padres ride without us and our negativity. Because if you go watch our last episodes, we were very negative. It didn't seem like a good time for us Padres fans. We were just on the clinch of playoffs, but since then they have gotten hotter. They have rode themselves into a fifth place as of right now. As of right now, there's still one series left, 3 games left. We're recording Sunday night. Fourth quarter's wrapping up in Sunday Night Football. We'll get to NFL tomorrow in another podcast. But your Padres didn't win tonight. They have 87 wins on the year, but the Brewers lost. The Padres clinched. And it's been kind of a wild season, has it not, Trevor?
It has been crazy. So many ups and downs. And generally, when, because I'm a baseball fan, like I know the season has a lot of ups and downs. No one can be 162 and 0 as much as we want them to be. But to actually have like a feeling where you have watched the team the whole season basically, and they actually clinch for the first time since 2006 is pretty awesome. It's pretty good.
It's pretty awesome. They did play in the playoffs in 2020, but that was a 60-game season. Won
And
one series, then played the Dodgers. So when we get down to it, we always said, just get there, just get there. Anything could happen in playoffs. And that's the mentality I'm going to keep because the Padres aren't the best team. They are a good team. They have good players, and they're going to have to hit the baseball to win the World Series, just like every team is going to have to do. But the ride there is going to be a little bit more difficult. I mean, the whole season was a long ride. Like it feels like forever ago that Eric Hosmer was in a Padres uniform.
yeah, that's what I was thinking about. The opening day with Luke Voigt, Taylor
I
Rogers, their
remember I
closer.
remember opening day we didn't have a closer. We let a guy who had just came from Japan close our first game, and Seth Beer hits a walk-off on National Beer Day. And I remember doing a podcast after going, this is going to be a great documentary one day if this is how it starts.
Yeah.
And this is one hitch in the chain, one link of armor that you've just upgraded to. You've made playoffs, you've clinched. Um, there's some scenarios though that I like better than the others that we'll get to. But
Yep.
we wouldn't get here without a lot of players, and this whole roster has changed quickly. And this season has been wild. It didn't seem like too long ago we were arguing about Nomar Mazara, Matt Beatty, Robinson Cano, and none of those guys are on this team.
Uh,
When
that's
do we
funny.
bring up CJ Abrams? Like we argued about all of these things this year, and a lot of those guys aren't affecting this roster or this team's outcome today.
Nope.
Except I want to add in this Taylor Rogers, thank you for the help you put in for us because man, since making that trade, not only has Hader had like a 360 in a Padre uniform because his first couple weeks were quite awful. And his last like 12 outings have been spot on, like nails. So thank you for that. But also, Taylor has by far helped the Brewers lose multiple games this season.
Thank you, Taylor.
I mean, like nobody's perfect, and baseball is such a cruel sport. He went from leading the league in saves on the Padres to will they make the playoffs? They have to win out,
Yep.
and I think the Phillies have to lose out. The Phillies only need to win one more game.
Or they lose, right?
Yeah, yeah. Or the Brewers lose one game, they're out. So they're on a old teeter totter. But I like the position we're in. So right now the Padres are in the fifth spot, and we'll keep jumping back and forth to present day and past day Padres because this roster is very interesting. Um, but I was just looking at playoffs. Playoffs sounds weird talking about it. Um, this weekend was kind of special. Padres clinched, but also the Braves swept the Mets, and they had faced both DeGrom and Max Scherzer. Braves put a whooping on them, holding the Mets to only 2 runs, 3 runs, and then 2 runs again. Like that just seems like the same old Mets can't score when you have your best pitchers out there. But everyone will say if you watch the Mets, oh, the pitching did not do what it's supposed to. Well, you can't win scoring 2 runs.
Yeah. No. And the Mets, I thought they were powerhouse started this year,
And they
Getting
made some good
Scherzer.
moves.
Yeah, they made some good moves. They got a lot of good prospects. And you see a lot of these prospects have a moment in October and it sticks with them throughout their whole entire career. Oh, remember when that guy did that his rookie year and you don't even realize he was a rookie? Stuff like that. The Mets have a lot of those type of dudes. Don't and they have the superstars. I thought my original thought before the season started was Padres Mets NLCS winner gets to go to the World Series. Little did I know we get to face them in the wild card where loser goes home. Same scenario, just a little bit different,
A little sooner than expected.
a lot sooner than expected.
Yeah, right now, if the season ended today, the Padres' first series in playoffs would line up against the Mets, 5 seed versus 4 seed. Um,
All in New
you know,
York.
all in New York, all 3 games.
Yep.
It doesn't. It's not 1-1-1 or anything like that.
Nope.
Damn. So all in New York, fitting. Um, and we would face Degrom and Scherzer 1-2.
Yep. And you gotta win. You have to win one of them. You have to get to game three, if
You have
that's
to.
if that's the who we end up facing.
And that's what we kind of talked about all year that we didn't want to happen. I think that's what we're going to be lined up into happening as we face them
Yeah.
one
Yep.
two.
Yep. Because
Um,
I remember saying, imagine facing DeGrom Scherzer in the same game. Little do we know we have to face them back to back games.
I'm a little interested how they're going to finish their season because they both pitched like Friday, Saturday, or something like that. So I think one of them's lined up to have like the last regular season game, and with the Braves only being 2 games up, are they really truly fighting for that first round bye? Like are they pushing hard? Do they want to throw one of them before the even wild card starts? So I don't know. That's all in the air. I don't think they would. I think you sit those pitchers um, like I want the Padres to do. I want the Padres to rest everyone these last 3 games. It don't really matter. And if you tank, it kind of gets you into a better position necessarily.
Kind of.
I mean,
We play the Cardinals, which we can beat the Cardinals.
I mean the Cardinals had our number this year, but I do think we're a better club. We have better pitching, um, and I think our lineup stacks toe to toe with them. I know
And
they have two
I,
MVP candidates, but I think Juan Soto, with a full season in the Padres next year, is going to be an MVP type player. So
yeah, that's my MVP this year. And he's
yeah,
on the Padres. Look at that. Who would have thought?
exactly. I mean, he's not the MVP. His numbers don't proceed to be MVP like, but he's had a really good season. I mean, the walks are what are incredible.
He walks a lot more than I thought, honestly.
And he actually strikes out more to me than I remembered. I don't know if that's just a Padre thing.
Yeah, my
Um, feels like he strikes out to me more than I remember. But I love Juan Soto. I am so excited. We have 3 postseasons with Juan Soto. Because everyone said, "Oh, you only get 3 years or whatever, or 2.5 years." Like, well, if we make postseason, you get the postseasons with him. That's what matters. I don't really care about the regular season unless you get to the postseason.
yep, and we finally get to that
So
that saying gets to come true.
a half year of Juan Soto was worth a playoff bound team. And
Yeah.
everyone criticized Preller, all of those things, but making those moves helped us in the outcome of
This
making
is what we've been trying to accomplish for the last five
last year.
years.
Last year we didn't make the moves, we didn't make playoffs.
Yeah.
That what happened this year. You make the moves, you make playoffs. If we didn't make the moves, this team wouldn't have made playoffs because little did we know Tatis wasn't going to be a part of this team.
Uh,
And don't forget about that man Tatis because every game we play in the playoffs count against his suspension into next year.
yep, perfect. Time to make a run.
Time
Time to
to
make a
make
run,
a
boy.
run.
Let's get the bats hot. We are very big preachers of teams that get hot at the right moment can do anything. It's magic in the playoffs. This team, I wouldn't consider them like hot at the moment, but the last month they've been pretty darn good. Pretty good baseball team.
Yeah, besides Trent Grisham.
That's okay. There's got to be a
There has
rotten
to be a weak
apple,
link.
a rotten apple on the tree.
Yes, there's always the worst looking apple. Like like
Yeah,
you're
there
not like,
is.
oh, every apple's good. Like you got to be like, well, I'm not gonna pick that one.
Yeah, exactly. There's a reason why he didn't.
There's a reason why you did. But I kind of like the Grisham and Azokar mix up. Azokar's been playing pretty well for us this year, and Grisham I still think plays pretty meaningful defense. And I think he's only going to step up. He's one of those guys that you're going to be like, ah, shit, when he comes to the plate and he's going to hit a bomb. He's
Yeah,
going to have, he's a guy who's going to have a playoff moment because he's so fucking due.
yeah, exactly. He is only one home run behind our Pujols, FYI.
I mean, I'm not going to say he had a bad season.
Yeah, well, come on. He's not even hitting 200.
I
He's the
mean,
Austin Hedges of this team, and he's
yes,
5 times better than Austin Hedges.
yes, he's better. He did not meet expectations of this season. Um, but I'm not gonna say that I do not like him in this lineup every day because I like him on this team in this lineup.
You like him because of the potential,
Yes,
what you have seen, what
yes,
he can do.
that's the only reason I like him.
Yeah,
It's what he is could do in the past. I don't know what he can do now. It doesn't look like much. I mean,
yeah.
182. It's rough to see.
It's worse than Joey Gallo.
The 625 OPS is rough to see. The only 57 walks to 144 Ks is rough to see.
And he's a fast dude. And doesn't even have 10 stolen bases, does he?
No, he has 6. Hassan Kim and Manny Machado both have more.
Holy fucking shit.
I mean, Manny Machado has 9 bags.
He has a bum ankle too.
I think all 9 were before the bum ankle.
All 9 of them were. He hasn't had one. He doesn't stolen one base since that injury.
He has 9 in half a season.
I thought he was gonna get a 30-30 this year.
But Manny Machado is up there for MVPs. I'm not gonna lie, and I don't want to hear anyone because every year the Padres say like the last couple of years, it was should have been Tatis, should have been Tatis. But this year, Manny Machado did the bulk of his work with nobody else helping. Like this team is nowhere without Manny Machado. If you switch spots with Manny and Tatis, I do not think we're in the same position.
That's a yeah. You're probably right.
I think I'm right. I think Manny is such a more overall, like matured, better off player. I do not think I know Tatis is probably a better player with the bat, and Manny would probably agree. But I think Manny Machado on this team means more day in and day out.
Yeah, he's definitely more of a culture guy. I mean, he is kind of. I'm not saying he picked San Diego for Tatis, but Tatis isn't Tatis without Manny. Manny is Manny without Tatis.
And it sucks so much that Tatis isn't on this team because Manny Machado probably had his best season of his career.
Best season of his career. Manny got to experience playoffs early with the Orioles, and this is the kind of Tatis never experienced playoffs. 2020 wasn't a playoff experience.
No,
Sorry to
because there
anyone who
wasn't really
believes that.
fans and all of the above. Like this is gonna
No, there
be.
wasn't no road fans barking at you. You were silent. You had your teammates and coaches are the only people that said something to you.
But I don't want to speak down on him because Tatis is great and so is Manny Machado. But this team in the playoffs is gonna have to do stuff. And Trevor, I want to see who you are putting on the bump. Let's say we see
Game
DeGrom,
one.
game one. Who are you throwing on the bump,
At
Bo?
this point, it has to be you, Darvish.
You Darvish, Chiching, you're correct. That is the only option for game one. You Darvish, we preached about him day in and day out. He started the season a little rough. I could remember that San Francisco game vividly, giving up like 11 runs in 2 innings or something like that, 0.2 innings. I can't remember now. But
Yeah, and he's had a fantastic year. I think
he's
he's
had a
third in wins.
fantastic year. He's had a great year. He gets game one. So game two, we're gonna see Max.
I would
Who's
probably
that on the
go
bump?
Joe. I'm probably going Joe.
You're going Joe, game two.
And I will take our chances with a Blake Snell versus whoever the fuck the Mets have in a game three.
I absolutely love that. Because you have to really go your 1-2 best two. Like I know everyone's going, oh, righty, lefty, throw them. Like, no. I want
Yeah,
our best three. We have 3 games at this bullshit. We got to go you and Joe right out the gate.
yeah, because some guys have a weird like niche in them where it's playoffs, it's time to go. Like they can turn on a switch and the regular season really doesn't give them like doesn't matter anymore. It's like a whole brand new person. Boom. We've seen it in many of these last years of playoffs. Michael Chavis, who was the dude on the Red Sox? Was that him?
Um,
Steve Pierce,
oh yeah, Steve Pierce. Is that who
who
you're talking about?
like we've never heard of these guys until the playoff moment. And it's a great time to have it. Joe Musgrove, first year as a starter, I think, in playoffs.
Yeah, he
Or
was out of the pen with the Astros when they won the World Series.
yeah,
So
I
you're
would.
going you, Joe, and then you Blake Snow. You have to. I mean,
Yeah,
he has the playoff history. I mean, he dominates in playoffs.
I feel no safer. I mean, I feel safest sending out Blake Snell in a possibly clinching game three, 100%. After the way he's been pitching since like August, yeah, because you don't want to risk, let's say, restart Blake Snell game two. Not saying Joe Musgrove's not going to be able to handle a game three, but
No, I just think you save Blake for the game three anyway because you're going to possibly need somebody out of the pen early. Because Blake, nothing against him, but he is a 5th inning guy. He's a 5 inning guy. True and true, you get the best Blake out of 5 innings. Sometimes he does turn it up and you could let him go. Don't get me wrong because I love Blake Snell and when he's on, the man is on.
yeah,
But I feel more comfortable in a game three going to the pen early to go get a you or Joe again, or even go get Nick Martinez out of the pen,
my first guy out of the pen would be Clev.
Clev out of the pen. Boom. See, I mean, we
He can
saw it
get if he can
earlier.
get a solid 2 innings out of that. This is all Bob Melvin playing fucking doctor with the lineup, the whole roster. How good can Bob Melvin infrastruct and construct a World Series winning team? This is the this is where all the moments get smaller, or they all get bigger, and everyone's eyes are looking at them. So you're gonna have plenty of people giving their opinions on calls. This guy get pulled out of the game, cost you. Well, Melvin has to do a great job here. This is why we got him.
It's gonna be interesting, very interesting, because yes, this is exactly why we got him. He's been in the playoffs. I think this is his eighth time as manager. Um, I have a question because when you go to the playoffs, you have to set a playoff roster. Is Sean Manaea on this roster?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
he makes his roster.
Yep.
It's been pretty bad.
I know. Pitchers, we need
You do need
pitching,
pitching,
pitching and
and
defense win you games.
you
Whether it
definitely
be for
need
two
pitching.
batters, one batter, if you can get a strikeout, big strikeout, he can do it.
I'm just nervous because it wasn't the Sean Manaea that I was expecting to see this year. I mean, he has a 5.15 ERA and 152 innings. I was expecting a lot more when we made this trade.
Yeah,
I
me
mean, I
too.
know he's not as great as what I might have expected going in. I mean, but I thought leaving Oakland, coming to San Diego was going to be an upgrade for him. And it seemed like, I mean, he had a 3.86 with Oakland in his career 6 years. Comes over as a 5.15 with us in 1 year. I mean, it is harder to pitch in the NL than it is the AL. And I've always said that.
But
But
is it really just the AL West, the NL West, like difference?
I don't know. It's not like that. It wasn't that far of a difference. It's not like the atmosphere is different.
I mean, I guess he does have to go to Colorado, so maybe
He
that
got banged up a couple times in Colorado.
maybe that
Um,
inflated him.
who are you not trusting this postseason when they get put in the game? Who are you
Mm,
kind of second guessing when you see their name on your phone?
Steven Wilson.
Steve Wilson has actually had a terrific year.
I was gonna say Craig Salmon, but I don't know if he's pitching, so
Craig Salmon is pitching, and he is definitely probably who I'm scared about most.
he's back. I thought he was hurt.
No, he's back. I'm pretty sure he's back.
Well, it would be nice to have like a Drew Pomeranz out of the bullpen or something like that right now.
It would have been really nice to see Drew Pomeranz come back this year, and that's another one who we were dead wrong on. I don't know.
And
We
that
paid
one dude had
big
surgery.
difference.
He's been pretty good, right?
Robert Suarez
Yeah, who
been
I
really
hated.
good for us. Really good for us. I'm nervous. I'll be nervous about Morihone, Adrian Morihone. I love his stuff, but it seems like he does get shelled every now and then. A little young. Um, I love Nabil, but is he not on the team right now?
I don't know.
He was dropped down to like the AAA team not too long ago.
Really?
Yeah, and then like
I
everyone on Twitter
miss
was like, "Nabil's here." Like, damn, he flew in. I don't know. I don't know what they were doing. I mean, it's not like he's had a terrible season. They just sent him down because I think Craig got healthy or something. I don't know.
yeah.
But
Craig probably has no
I
options.
trust Nabil more than Craig. That's for sure. Nabil's been pretty ice for us when um, he's in. I don't really trust Luis Garcia that much. I'm
He's
not a
always
fan of
been
him.
Sketch.
He's sketchy. He throws a heater. Not much else.
Yeah, and people are probably wondering why none of us answer Josh Hader because I have never been stressed when Hader's on the mound. Not once.
No.
That's why when he blows it,
Didn't-
it hurts more. It's like we
yeah.
didn't even expect it.
He didn't look himself for a while, but I am not typically nervous with Hader on the mound. He's really good, and I think the playoffs he's going to be lights out.
I was so nervous when Taylor Rogers on the mound. Thank you, Taylor. But now when Josh Hader, like, I feel like he can save any game, any moment. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I've seen what his past he's done, not really looking at the present, but I think Josh Hader move is going to be electric. I hope Juan Soto has a fantabulous uh postseason, and I know Manny Machado, when the lights shine bright, he will become that dude.
Yeah, definitely. One guy who's actually had a really good year and who I would be very nervous for in the past is Lakeside's finest Tim Hill. He has had
He's
a
from
great year.
Escondido, dude.
Makes sense.
He's from Escondido.
Yeah, it just makes sense.
Nowhere close to Lakeside.
Well, him being from Escondido and San Diego looking makes sense.
Yeah, he's gonna crush our dreams and give up a game-winning walk-off home run
Don't say
to
that.
Pete Alonso in New
Um,
York.
Manny Machado's had a 6.7 WAR this year.
Yeah, there's an argument to be made that he is the most valuable player this season.
Yeah, because he's done it on a team that had no one else do it on. I mean, the next best is Hassan Kim, but his is all defensive WAR.
Yeah, and I am a big person when it's called the most valuable player. So if you take that person off that team, will they be the same team? The answer to Manny Machado is no. The answer to Paul Goldschmidt is it, yes, I think they still win make the playoffs. The answer for Mookie, yes. I think the answer for Freddie Freeman, yes. Like all these guys are yes, yes, yes. Manny Machado is no. You take him off, this team is barely scraping 80 wins. We look like the fucking Giants out there.
Less without Manny Machado.
Yeah. Even with our studly pitching, we would be 80 poo and 80.
Yeah, definitely not in the playoffs. That's for sure. Um, the goal is always the World Series, Trevor. What's your dream scenario? What are you saying? Padres versus who?
Padres or Yankees.
98 rematch?
98 rematch, and I think our pitching is a little bit more finessier than it was in 98. And those big bats, the big bad New York Yankees, Aaron Judge is Roger Maris. Oh my God.
We're
That
coming
would
for
be
'em?
awesome. That'd be awesome to take down the big bad Wolves of the East.
I'm gonna stick with my prediction from day one. This before we started, we had our predictions. Mine was Padres and Blue Jays.
Blue Jays are in playoffs.
I thought so.
Hey, shout out to the Mariners. Playoffs.
Did I read it wrong?
They might be.
I'm gonna feel like a fool. Yeah, Toronto has 90 wins. They're in playoffs for sure. They're gonna face the Mariners. Actually, no, I'm glad you mentioned that. That's a good matchup. Round one.
Pissed.
But yeah, that's my prediction. I'm gonna go Padres versus Blue Jays. I don't know why that was my prediction before, and I'm gonna stick with it. I'm feeling pretty good.
I'm trying to remember who I said.
I was looking over my picks.
Your picks.
For
I don't know. I probably my AL teams were probably fucking way off.
I'm way off. I picked Devers for MVP.
I did pick Julio Urias to win Cy Young, and I think he's top three, but Sandy Alcantara is probably going to take that.
Yeah, Sandy's winning that for sure.
I would love to see the Padres Blue Jays, not going to lie.
I think it would be a fun matchup.
Would be very fun. Sucks we can't face them until fucking the World Series. That's what's going to be fun about the next few years. We get to face everyone.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a nice break from playing the Dodgers like 18 times a year.
Yeah, and these East Coast teams, you get to go, and more and more teams will experience San Diego. They're like, I Bob Melvin's stat will always stick to me. When I came down to San Diego in on a Tuesday, Wednesday, 2 game series, it was sold out both nights, and that's what made me. I'm like I wanted to come to San Diego, so more guys get to experience shit like that. Whoo, watch out, big
Yeah,
markets.
who wants to play at an empty stadium? I saw someone tweet out actually the other day side by side pictures of 2020 no fan season versus the other night at the Pirates game. There's actually more people in the stands the 2020 season. There was a bunch of like couple workers in the stands.
No way.
There was nobody in the at the Pirates game the other night.
That's fucking nuts.
Nobody. Like it was unreal.
Yeah, down feels bad for Pittsburgh. They got some terrible teams this year.
Yeah, they do. That's for sure. That is for sure. I'm super excited for the playoffs. I know we're going to be bringing you more playoff baseball. Hopefully, it's some good coming. Hopefully we make it out of round one because I really need to go to a playoff game. And if I have to shoot my ass to New York to do it next week, I'm going to be real upset.
There's no shot you're doing that.
Why not?
Just a one way to New York. New York.
Uh, no, I'll get it there and back, but it's just a couple hours apart from each other.
Uh,
I literally just go to the stadium
when does
next
the
year,
playoffs start? Next Friday
Friday,
or this Friday? I guess.
this Friday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday's wild card series.
Playoff baseball.
Holy fuck!
Yeah. This is a great time to be alive. Football's on, playoff baseball, basketball's right around the corner. The trifecta of sports is now.
I wish March Madness was this time too.
This
That'd
is
be fucking
basically
awesome.
March Madness. There's something on every night.
Yeah, true.
There's going to be something on every night here next week.
Yep. And shout out if you took my advice and got your Padres plus 1,000 World Series tickets in. Said that about a year ago. So if you listened and decided that Shenny was right, uh, won some money.
Yeah, you know what? Hashtag Shenny was right.
Thank you, Shenny, for saving the Padres
Yeah, thank you, Shenny, actually, for you haven't watched a Padre game in 2 months.
since August 20th. I was looking today. Was the last game I watched.
And the other day you said they were like 30 and 25 or something like that.
They were 20 and 12.
There you go.
Best 32 game stretch all fucking year.
And
And I didn't watch any of it.
you didn't watch any of it, and not a single game did Eric Hosmer play for that team. So
Fuck you.
I could only smile even more. It's been a long time coming. The Padres are in playoffs. Eric Hosmer's not on this team. It is good. It's good, Trevor.
Life is good, you know what I mean?
That was good. All right. Nothing wrong
We're
with
gonna
being
get fucking
average.
trademarked for that. Fuck.
Nothing wrong with being average. We out.
Playoffs.
Deuces.